Last night, former Vice President Joe Biden ripped into Hillary Clinton for essentially losing to Donald Trump and not knowing what she stood for. Now, at the SALT conference in Las Vegas, and this is according to Fusion reporter Hamilton Nolan, Biden had told a crowd, "I never thought about Clinton. I never thought that she was the correct candidate." Well, that's very interesting. I think a lot of people thought the same thing. That's unfortunately why we have Donald Trump in a Republican Congress. She essentially poisoned the down ballot. Now, look, nobody liked Hillary Clinton. That's provable. It's why you saw all of her support vanish after she lost. And she lost, again, to the worst candidate that the Republicans could put up, the most unpopular. But despite him being the most unpopular Republican, she is still the most unpopular Democrat. In fact, she's currently at 35% approval rating. And that's amazing considering that Trump, again, is the most unpopular sitting president at this time in their term. Now, Biden continues. No man or woman should announce for the presidency unless they genuinely believe that for that moment in the nation's history, they are the most qualified person to deal with the issues facing the country. But to be fair, dude, it's not about the qualification. On paper, Hillary Clinton was actually incredibly qualified. But her problem is that she had no vision. She was an insider. Everything about her campaign was status quo, maybe 5% change at the most, but steady as we go. Let's not rock the boat. Let's continue with the Obama policies, which some were good, but let's continue with the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. And that's the whole problem with Hillary Clinton, and I suspect that would also be the problem with Joe Biden. But I go a little ahead of myself. Now, the problem is that tranquilizing drug of gradualism, that doesn't win you elections, especially when people are at the point of where they are desperate for change. Joe, you should know this. Joe Biden ran with someone who campaigned as a change maker and as a progressive. Now, he wasn't actually a progressive, but boy, did he wear that mask really, really well. And they won. They won twice. So you should know what wins elections. And it's not Hillary Clinton. Now, finally, he goes on to say that who he thought the right candidate was to run in 2016. Quote, "I thought I was the correct candidate." And he also didn't rule running himself in 2020, according to multiple reports. Robert Wolf tweeted, 2020 SALT conference, Joe Biden was asked about running for president. Could I run? Yes. Will I? Probably. Or will I? Probably not. But I may very well do it. Now, of course, you guys know that every time they're like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I will. I could, but no. You know they're running. They're, of course, running. Look, I love you, Joe. But no, don't. I've got nothing against Joe Biden. He seems like a very decent, likable human being. He's not a robot like Hillary Clinton that doesn't know how to, actually relate to human beings. Oh, where's my hot sauce? You're not going to see gaffes like that from Joe Biden. If anything, he's going to be a little over-friendly, which he's gotten himself in trouble with before. But look, thing is, oh, and also I got to give him credit for being, because it's kind of ballsy to go out and trash Hillary Clinton, especially when you're part of the establishment. So I got to give him credit for that. But at the same time, Joe also is part of the Democratic establishment, and we don't need any more of that in the White House. Now, I'm not saying Joe would lose. I'm actually saying he's got a pretty damn good chance, in my opinion. He'd likely do very well and probably beat Trump very, very handily. I mean, for example, let me go back to the poll numbers in 2016. They had potential matchups, and Biden was one of the guys that crushed Trump by double digits. First, you had Bernie Sanders that crushed Trump by double digits, and you also had Joe Biden, who was doing very well. There were a lot of Democrats that were like, Joe Biden, jump in, because Hillary's like, ugh, she sucks. But you're part of the establishment, Joe, and you might actually be able to win. So I'm not saying that he's going to lose. I'm saying he's got a very good chance. But I don't think that Joe Biden is what America needs to fix its problems. Again, he's part of the establishment, and I think he will continue most of the policies of the establishment. And that's, again, that's admittedly better than what we are going to have with Trump. That's if he's even there in 2020, if he's even running again. But why run Joe Biden when we already have a perfect candidate lined up? the person who is considered the most popular politician in America, Bernie Sanders. Look at what's going on here. Look, Joe obviously wants to run. He wanted to run before, but he didn't last time because he lost his son to cancer, and that's incredibly sad. And I understand that. So that's why he didn't get involved in this race. And look, frankly, if he had run, it's very likely we wouldn't have Donald Trump. But anyway, the thing is that yes, he's going to run. The establishment right now is freaking out about the possibility of Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders would end up rocking the boat. Look, and Sanders himself, by the way, he's like, hey, let's not talk about 2020. That's ridiculous. It's stupid. Let's talk about what's going on now. Fair enough. But again, you're having all these different articles that are freaking out about Bernie Sanders and are talking about Chelsea Clinton and are talking about Joe Biden. They're talking about all this stuff. Okay. So I guess we'll talk about it, right? Now, they're kind of desperate, the establishment is, to put up somebody in the primary that could stop Bernie Sanders. Now, you can't use the argument anymore that the establishment politicians are more electable because of the fact that Clinton lost. So it seems very natural of a choice for them to go to someone like Joe Biden. Because, look, he's friendly, he's sociable, he's very well-spoken, he looks the part, and he's generally a good guy, and he even polls incredibly well. In fact, he's got a 55% favorability rating. That's pretty good. That's not Bernie Sanders. That's pretty close, though. But see, again, the Democrats already have a natural choice. They don't need to go searching for somebody. They already have somebody there. And I'm going to follow their logic for a second. This is not my logic. This is the establishment logic. See, Bernie Sanders lost the last primary, right? But just like Hillary Clinton had lost in 2008. Well, when 2016 came up, it was Hillary Clinton's turn. So in 2020, should it be Bernie Sanders' turn? If you're going to follow establishment logic, that's exactly where we should go next. Bernie Sanders. Now, is that going to happen? No, of course not. Because, look, if Biden runs, and if Bernie ends up running, you're going to have the establishment line up behind Joe because Joe is safe. He's safe, and Bernie Sanders is unsafe. He's going to rock the boat. And if anything, the establishment Democrats, they don't want someone to rock the boat because when you do that, that upsets the donors. So while Joe Biden would likely beat Donald Trump in an election because Donald Trump is wildly unpopular and he is incompetent, if Trump's even there at this point, Joe Biden would likely beat him. Bernie Sanders would also likely beat him. But he would also change things, and that's got the establishment incredibly scared. So that's why they're looking for people. And Joe Biden, he wants to step up. He would likely get the majority establishment support. And we don't need that to happen, though. Now, look, a lot of this is speculation. I understand that. We don't know what the field's going to be in 2020. We don't know if Bernie Sanders is going to run. But it's clear to me, at least, that Biden right now, he's testing the waters because the establishment is looking for somebody to try to take the mantle against Donald Trump. So that's what I see. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.